Turning on OBS and let's get started. All right, so I've been doing a lot of things that no one cares or watches or looks at or clicks on, and it's fine because I just want to do things and feel productive and talk. We're gonna check out a list of 30 Pixar movies ranked by Rotten Tomatoes. Since there have been a lot of rankings I've seen for like MCU or people talking about most watchable or whatnot, whatever. I haven't looked at the bottom of the or the top of the list, but I'm gonna go off on my own and talk about my favorite, what I think should probably be the top, even though it's not my favorite, most rewatchable, um, and probably the worst. So let's go. So we have Cars 2. Out of 30, I guess I'll let it slide. I don't like Cars, any of them. Screw me, I guess. I don't like any of the Cars. So Cars 2 is 29, or I'm sorry, 30. I'm saying all the numbers. 29 is Cars 3. And then we got Elemental, which I was okay with it. It's a 73%. I don't know if they're going by. It looks like they're going by. Oh, they're going by their ratings. I don't know if I like that. Oh wait, is that the? Oh, that means like certified. That's right. I thought it was the crowd one. So they're going by rankings. This doesn't mean exactly the best, but it's fine. I can still go off this. Um, Cars 1. I don't like Cars. That's 27. Buzz Lightyear is 26. I don't really, when I see Lightyear, I don't see it as a Pixar film. I see it differently. Like it'd be under a different umbrella. It is Buzz Lightyear, but it's just a whole different can of worms. It's not the toy. It's just, I don't know. I would put this not even in this competition. But we're going through 30, so it's a lot. Good Dinosaur 25 is 76%. Um, I think it's alright. The thing with like some of these, I really when I really looked at Pixar, and I see when they make them, they try to find things marketable. Like what can we make money with? And I think Good Dinosaur didn't have a lot of marketable things. It doesn't make it a worse movie, but you could tell the popularity of certain things is where you could sell a lot of toys of it. And I think that's where Up fell a lot because you don't want a stuffed animal of the little kid or the old man. They did have Doug, but we'll see where that pops up on the list. Then we have Brave. 24, I think, is a little too far back for me with Brave. I'm not sure, but that's again we're looking at certified tomatoes. Monsters University 23. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of like Monsters was on the other day, and it's very touching movie. The first one, very cool idea. But I just don't feel like I want to watch it all the time. I don't know why, but I think it's a really good idea. Really well done formula. University, I don't think we needed it, to be honest with you. I would drop that below Brave. Lightyear would stay where it's at. Elemental was weird. I don't know. Leo I have not watched, so I can't have any opinion on that. Onward, didn't feel like a Pixar movie. It was weird. It was odd. Teenage brothers Ian and Barkley embark on a magical quest to spend one more day with their late father. Oh, it's got clicked me all the way here for the full synopsis, huh? It may suffer in comparison to Pixar classics, but Onward makes effective use of studio's formula. Okay. So it says teenage elf brothers Ian and Barkley embark on a magical quest to spend one more day with their late father. Like in a good adventure, their journey is filled with cryptic maps, impossible obstacles, unimaginable discoveries. But when dear mom finds out her sons are missing, she teams up with legendary Manicore. I want to say Manitou. To bring her beloved boys back. First time I watched this was I was in the hospital. I hate I always bring up having COVID, but there was a channel that played a lot of good movies and they played a lot of Pixar. So maybe it was in the state of mind I was in. It wasn't the greatest to me, but I feel like it being Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, it should have been a lot bigger and a lot more advertised. I feel. Where it's sitting at right now, I'm comfortable with that right now, just because. Again, I'm thinking of ranking what's good or not. This is their rating, but yeah, same thing with Luca. I watched it in the hospital. This one was interesting because it was trying to tap into, I feel like a certain hot topic. I don't want to get too much into it, but I feel like I was trying to get into certain type of stories. Um, but I don't know. Look at what we have. See, I think Brave would be ahead of Luca. Everything else, I don't. Yeah, I think Brave would be the only one I'd move maybe in front of Luca besides Elio. I haven't saw. Um, Inside Out 2, I thought was really good. Me, someone that suffers from anxiety, having anxiety added to it. It was a good movie. I think I'm fine with it there for right now at 19. Um, it would be above Luca. I still think Brave might be above that though. Brave might be above Inside Out 2. Bug's Life way too far down. Way too far down. 18, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's 92% though. That's really good. Really well. Um, Pixar's killing it with these numbers. Bug's Life 92. I think it's way too far down. I might have to get into that a little bit later and reflect on a lot of these. Incredibles 2. I didn't like Incredibles 2 that much. I didn't feel like it was so hyped coming out. Like, well, we're gonna finally get one. And Incredibles 1 is so good, so good. A lot of the sequels for me didn't work with Pixar, and it just, I don't know. It just was weird. I don't know. I want to say Bugs Life is for sure ahead of it. Bugs Life is for sure Inside Out. This is where Brave might be falling into a little bit. Um, yeah, so we got Cribbles 2 at number 17. Finding Dory 16. I didn't like a movie focusing on Finding Dory. Um, Finding Nemo is very good. Again, I don't think we needed a sequel. We already got that story. Um, they try to stretch it with Ellen DeGeneres' character. I just didn't. I think this falls behind Brave and Bug's Life for sure. Wally, now we're getting tough. Wally at 15. Wally's a great movie, and I think what's the great substance behind Wally is there's not a lot of talking going on, and it still carried a movie. As far as selling things and getting it popular with the kids, I think that was rough because it was only really the robot and Eva. We'll just sit with her right now. Turning Red, I don't feel like it was a Pixar movie. I really don't, but it was a really good movie. I liked it a lot. I liked the way it was a way of dealing with a teenager going through changes for a girl, and I appreciated that a movie took that risk. But we're talking about what's good and what's better. I'll have to rearrange this maybe a little bit. I like Turning Red a lot, but it's fresh in my mind. That's probably why. They have a big kaiju fight at the end too, which is great. But I still think Bug's Life goes ahead of it. Wall-E goes ahead of it. Brave might even go ahead of it. I think Brave would. But I like Turning Red a lot. Soul, I got bored with. A lot. Maybe I need to rewatch it. But, like people say, it's kind of like, I don't know. I've heard people say, like, it's just like give up kind of a movie. But I don't know. I think Souls should be way down, more on the bottom. Hoppers is the reason why I went on this. I didn't know Hoppers was going to be on the list because I need to watch Hoppers. So I can't rank that at all. It's already at 12, which is crazy out of all the Pixar movies. Monsters Inc. at 11 is pretty far back compared to where I think it would be. Pretty far back. I still would probably put... no. It's far back, but nothing else that we've seen would go in front of it so far. Nothing else. Ratatouille's different. I think Ratatouille, I'm more entertained with that. It's more not kid driven as Monsters Inc. So I would probably be more appealed to Ratatouille. But I think Monsters Inc. would be ahead of Ratatouille as far as popularity and overall better story, because Monsters Inc. is a great story. The whole story behind monsters needing scares to, energize their world. And it was just really smartly done, and the twist at the end with the being humor works just the same, and that was really cool. But it's just something I don't want to watch over and over all the time. I don't know why I get that vibe when I watch it. It was on the other day, and I was just kind of like, Ratatouille, I get somewhat that, but I don't know. Maybe it's because it's food and I'm fat. I don't know. Like, they're kind of around the same area. So I kind of get it. I kind of get it. We're at the point right now where I think Brave would fall behind Monsters Inc. Wally would fall behind that as of right now. And probably Turning Red, and everything else could just drop below it, I think. Yeah. Oh, Bugs Life. Ooh. I think I put Bugs Life ahead of Ratatouille at this moment. Toy Story 4 needs to drop way down. It's at 96%. The one movie that has sequels that work was Toy Story, except for number 4. We didn't need 4. 3 has a Thor. 3 has such a good ending. One of the best trilogies out there. I talked about Guardians of the Galaxy being one of the best trilogies out there. We have Star Wars. I think Captain America is one of the best trilogies out there. Indiana Jones has a great trilogy. Toy Story has a great trilogy, and they could have stopped it. They really could have, because 4 was not needed at all. 3 wrapped it up so good. I'm interested to see where that stops at. But yeah, so 8, it looks like we have The Credibles. That's rough. 4 needs to be nowhere near that. Nowhere near Incredibles at all. But we're going off people's critic ratings. I'm going off of what I think people would enjoy more. Yeah, I'll get back to that. Coco, I can't get into this that much, but at number 7, people would argue that lower, I believe. But I'll get back to Coco. Up. Okay, this was on the other day, and people are going to hate me for this. I don't think Up's that good. I think the first 20 minutes of Up is amazing. One of the best love stories told. Probably in a bunch of things, compared to a lot of things. Better than Twilight. It summed up such a heart-wrenching story and was told so well, and it was silent. But then it kind of falls off. And this was the whole marketing thing, was the kid's not really interesting, the old man's not really interesting, Doug's kind of the humor there, and the bird. I think Up belongs way below this, and it sucks because everyone's gonna be like, no, but it's so good, because you're thinking about the beginning. That's what you're thinking about. The beginning is so good. It's ridiculously good. Just so good. But the movie overall, I don't think is that good. Toy Story 3 coming in at 5. Toy Story 3 is really, really good. It's just hard because when you get into the Toy Story area, it's really hard because they all kind of sound the same line for me. They're all pretty well done. 2, I think, is the weakest out of the 3. But 3 and 1 are pretty close to each other for me. Inside Out at 4 is a bit much, I think. Yeah, Inside Out for me drops a lot more. It's a really good story, really smart idea, really cool way to teach kids about emotions, and I think everyone can relate to it. Yeah, but I think Inside Out drops a lot further than 4 for me. Then we have Finding Nemo at number 3. Finding Nemo is amazing. It's a great story. I'm shocked right now because I see Toy Story at number 2, which I cannot think right now. What could be number 1 Pixar movie? Let me look real quick. Let's put up all Pixar movies. Let's check this out. Okay. Pixar animation. How about this one? We'll go IMDb. Toy Story 1, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3, Cars 2, Brave, Monsters University, Inside Out, The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, Cars 3, Coco, Incredibles, I'll say Invincible, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, Onward, Soul, Luca, Turning Red, Lightyear, Elemental, Inside Out 2, Ilio, Hoppers, Toy Story 5 coming out, Gatto coming out, and Incredibles 3. What? Coco 2? But I can't think of who would be number 1 out of all these. What did I miss? It looks like they got all of them. Monsters University. Was Toy Story 3 not mentioned? Was that the one not mentioned? Oh man. Number 1, Toy Story 2. Whoa, the one I thought was the weakest. Wow. Both at 100% for one and two. Um, hmm. This is interesting. Wow. Two's good. I think Toy Story trilogy is great. I think four is garbage. Um, was forced. That's all. I mean, it's entertaining enough to watch it once or whatever. Um, but man, this is rough. I think Toy Story 3 might be right next to Toy Story 1. I'm going to say what my top five, I believe, would be if people really got to pick, but not my opinions, because that's a little different. I think number one would be Toy Story 1. Number two, I think, would be Toy Story 3. Three would be Incredibles. Four, Monsters Inc. If I didn't say Finding Nemo at 5. So Toy Story 1, Toy Story 3, Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo. Those are, I think, would be the top five people would pick um, as their top, not what the critics are saying. Now, the most rewatchable one. This is hard because Pixar kind of does very well with this. What would I let be on all the time? Nemo couldn't be because I do get sad with Nemo. Actually, I can't say that because I do get sad with another one that's my absolute favorite. Um, Most rewatchable. I'll tell you, most underrated, I believe it's Bug's Life. Bug's Life is such a cool idea. Great cast, Kevin Spacey. Why'd you have to do dumb things and get blacklisted? Why'd you be a bad person? Your character's so freaking good as Hopper. Oh my god, I love that character. Um, and it tells a really good story. It's very political. It takes, kids don't all get it, but we get it. Um, it's and Dave Foley, like, come on, from Kids in the Hall. A lot of people don't even know that, but Dave Foley getting to be a star of a Pixar movie is great. You got Julie Louis Dreyfus also. You know her as Elaine. I know her as Elaine, but her having a part was pretty cool. I think Bug's Life is probably the most underrated. Not saying it's not. People people would be like, oh, I think Luca is not that great, or I don't think Luca's really recognized, but it should be higher. I think why I say that is Bug's Life is, I think, up there next to the Toy Stories and the Incredibles, and it gets slept on, I think, a lot. But I'm trying to think most rewatchable. It's not gonna go with any of the Cars. I do not like Cars, but I don't know if people really like Cars. I don't think they do. Monsters Inc. I didn't really get the vibe. Finding Nemo's a little sad. I don't. Soul won't fall on that. Hopper's haven't seen. Ratatouille's great, but I don't know if it's a rewatch all the time. I honestly think the most rewatchable one is either gonna be Toy Story 1 or 3 that you'll let it play all the time. But I think for most people it'd be 3. Because it's just, if you watch the other two and you watch 3, it's just such a satisfying ending. Such an interesting story. Nice little twist. And the ending, right when they're gonna go and get burnt to death, it's so, like, you're like, what the? It's gonna end like this? Like, what's gonna happen? We knew they were gonna live, but how are they gonna live? I think 3 is the most rewatchable movie out of all of them. Worst, I can't say because I haven't seen some of these, like Elio. Soul, Soul might be on the bottom for me. Actually, no, the Cars would be. I hate Cars. I don't like Owen Wilson as a voice. I don't like Larry the Cable Guy as a voice. People will probably fight me on that one, but I'd put them on the bottom. But my top number one movie is Coco. I love Coco. I always hated that I didn't have a favorite, like, Pixar character, and everyone got their own Mike Wazowski stuffed animals, and everyone had their, you know, Toy Story Woodies and Buzz Lightyears, and I just never had that connection with any of them. I didn't have that connection. Um, and then I watched Coco. Number one, Miguel reminds me of my son. When it came out, he was about a little younger than Miguel, but he grew up into looking like Miguel a lot, and I made him dress a lot like him during Halloweens and stuff. And he's went to Disneyland painted as him. Um, but the story is just so good for me. Made me really appreciate the Day of the Dead. Made me dig deeper into culture of it and my culture. Um, I really enjoyed it because of Day of the Dead. And this isn't like going to be someone else's favorite. This is my favorite. I finally had a Pixar movie that I connected with, where I felt this is like my jam. This will be always my top number one Pixar. I doubt I could see anything above it for me because I'm just connected to it. I could watch this over and over again. I'll cry every time. I cry like probably 3 times in each time I watch it. And it came on when I was in the hospital again. And that time my son wasn't. It was during COVID, so my son couldn't come and see me. So I would just bawl, thinking about him. And our dog, his name is Dante, based off this. It's just such a sweet movie. Marketing wise, I saw, they would try to sell Dante stuffed animals and things like that, but it's kind of hard to sell like Miguel things. We do have Miguel toys and stuff like that. Like I have them on bookshelves and things like that. I realized I said a lot in one of the videos I made. I was so annoyed. It was one of the older videos where I was like talking about why we're taking a break or why we were. I don't know. I give updates like people care, but it's whatever. Again, it's just so good to me. Dealing with the music as well with it, the culture, it just really dug deep. I was really thinking about Encanto, but Encanto isn't Pixar, huh? I guess not, because I was like, Encanto had a really good, rich story, good music. I would put this up there with one of the ones that had the best music as well, for me, at least. I cried with Remember Me. But that's me being biased. I don't know what else people. Probably Toy Story would be up there with one of the best songs and stuff. Definitely. The other ones, I don't really see anything having better music. Yeah, Incredibles has a decent soundtrack, but it's like not songs, Trying to think what else could fall under that with music. And this connecting with music, the Day of the Dead, showing a Latino background, it was just really cool. I really, really loved it, and it will go down probably as my favorite forever. I don't see anything outbeating it. I see a sequel coming, because this doesn't need to be touched again. Miguel doesn't need to go back into the Day of the Dead world and do another venture. I don't want to see that. It ended very, very well, with Coco passing over, and God, it gets me. But yeah, I love Coco. That's mine. That's gonna be my number one. If I had to pick my favorites, number one would be Coco. 2 would probably be Toy Story 3, and then followed by Toy Story, and then followed by Finding Nemo, then Incredibles, then Bug's Life. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel for me. Inside Out 1 and 2 are probably about tied right there. Then I'd have to fall into like, Monsters Inc., Ratatouille, WALL-E. Toy Story 2 would fall in the middle there somewhere. But yeah, Coco's my favorite. That's my favorite. But yeah, that's crazy. So Toy Story 2 is number 1 ranked, even though it's 100% with Toy Story 1. It's still rated higher, I guess. I don't know why it's rated higher, or why they have it as number 1. Maybe they picked that themselves. Crazy that Finding Nemo's at 99% and it's still right there. Inside Out 98%. It's right there. You would think they'd all be close to 100. It's huge shout out to Pixar for knocking these out with the critics. But yeah, I don't know what you guys would think. I'm sure everyone has their own favorites. Again, I think a lot of people would love Up. But again, I just turn off Up after the beginning. The story isn't that great to me. And it's such a like the ending's weird because I always think this kid finally found someone to love him and take care of him or watch over him, and he's like 90 years old and he's gonna be gone soon. What's gonna happen to this kid once this old man passes away? And I think of all these things, and it's just like I guess we're not supposed to think any further. There will be no up sequel, I don't think, at least not with the old man. Um, but yeah, it's everyone's gonna have their personal favorites. I can't, I can't disagree with Toy Stories besides four. If you pick Nemo, I'd be okay with it. If you pick Inside Out, I'd be okay with it. Three, Up, I wouldn't be, but I understand. Coco, I totally would get it, but I don't think people would. Incredibles, totally get it. Four, I would fight you. Why? Ratatouille, I can understand someone has like a connection with cooking and stuff like that as well. Monsters Inc. I could see as number one. Hoppers I haven't seen yet. Soul I would probably argue with you. Turning Red, it's a really good movie, but it's not as good as the other ones. That's the problem. Wally I could see people having as their top one because of what the meaning of it is and the story. So I wouldn't really argue with you if that was your favorite. Finding Dory, I would probably butt heads with you. Incredibles 2, I'd butt heads with you and be like, yeah, you can't have that as your favorite. That's crazy. Bugs Life, I would get it as well. Inside Out 2, I think I would let people be like, yeah, I wouldn't bug them for like a number two. Having anxiety myself, I think people related to that a lot. People are like, you need to see a therapist after watching it, and it's true, it's crazy. Luca, maybe the culture thing I could see people latching onto, but I mean, the Italian and all that stuff was great. And the culture behind all that, I could see someone having that as number one. But if you want to go off story wise, I would kind of argue against it. But if you're like, oh, I connect to it, I wouldn't argue. Onward, I would, because Onward, I'd argue against that. If there's a lot better movies than Onward. It kind of felt wacky and thrown together. It is wacky. It's just the dad is pants half the time. A really sad ending, happy sad ending. It's sweet. It's a sweet movie. But definitely just not up there if you said it was your favorite out of all of them. But there might be a unique connection to it, and I won't argue with that. Elio, I haven't seen. Monsters University, I would have no clue why you'd pick this as your number one. Brave, I totally get it. If you pick Brave as number one in your list, that makes sense. Same with A Good Dinosaur. There's something about it that I can see people connecting with. Lightyear, I will argue with you and say I don't get how you like that as your favorite. Cars, I would just say Life is a Highway. If I have to hear that one more freaking time, I'll lose my mind. And I don't know why you like a movie about talking cars. I could deal with talking bugs, talking toys, stuff like that, but talking cars, it just doesn't make sense. I don't get it, but it's a cartoon. We understand. Elemental, I'd probably butt heads back with you if you pick that as number one, because I think there's a lot of other movies that you should be able to pick first. Cars 3, of course, I wouldn't talk about, and Cars 2, I wouldn't talk about. I'm glad to see them lower on the list, even though it's a critics rating, and they're still in the 70s, whatever, but I'm glad. I think Lightyear would even be below them, because it doesn't feel like Pixar. But a lot of these, you could be your personal favorites, and I wouldn't really argue with you, besides like a few of these. It's just some of these, I think, I understand being in your heart, why you like it so much. But I think overall, I could pick what the consensus of all people, what they would pick if they voted. I think I kind of got it. I'm not 100%, but of course, because my favorite's Coco. But I think Toy Story 1 or 3 will be everybody's favorite out of all the Pixar films. Or people might be higher up on Up, because that beginning just gets you. It's fucking amazing. The beginning of the movie is so good. But I just think people go blind after that. They don't realize how not great of a movie is after that. I don't think it's. I don't know. I hate to crap on it so much because the beginning's so good. But yeah. So I don't know. But that was my fun, trying to figure out a little more about what all Pixar. And I guess we only have. I don't know when this got released, this article for Rotten Tomatoes. But it had to be soon because Hoppers just came out. And they must only have 30 movies out. I feel like they had way more. I thought they were missing one. Cars 2 broke the streak with Pixar's first rotten film. Wow. The past decade, between Return to sequel, Monsters University, Find Dory, and pulling original property, closing out with Toy Story 4. I don't know what they're talking about, but yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts. Said Pocahontas came out the same year as Toy Story? After all, the slide from peak Disney Renaissance had only just begun. The releases that year were Pocahontas and a Goofy movie. Did that come out the same time? Goofy movie's clutch. It's clutch. It's fun. It's not probably better than like the top 10 Pixar movies, but it's a clutch movie. But I don't think that's accurate. Maybe it is 95. Yeah, maybe it is. We talk about Hercules coming out in 98 with A Bug's Life. And then we had Ants that came out that was basically, I guess, someone left from Bug's Life and basically took the story and they redid it. I don't know. I never watched Ants. I didn't care for it. Jennifer Love Hewitt. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. Jennifer Lopez voicing people, and I don't care. I really don't. If you're not Pixar, I'm not buying it. Hercules, Mulan, that's pretty cool. And then 1999, it's Toy Story. Dude, it's crazy thinking, like, I'm old, but it's crazy for me to think. I was in ninth grade when that came out. Celebrating its 25th year this month. Wow, for Toy Story 2. But yeah, that's crazy. And then unpreceded run of certified fresh hits on the box office from Monsters Inc. all the way up to here, Toy Story 2. Yeah, so those are how I feel. What would be the top, at least 5, for what people would think, and what I think would be the most underwatched or underrated, which is Bug's Life. And the worst, like I said, it would fall under the Cars for me, even though I think there's a couple that would fall there with it. And people probably would hate me that love Cars. I'm just not into Cars. I'm not into racing. I don't like Owen Wilson as a voice. I don't like Larry the Cable Guy. That's not my genre of comedy. I'm a Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy kind of guy. And Coco is my personal favorite. And I'll go down in history swinging and fighting if you disagree with me, because I love it so much. So you have to understand some people do have their own connections with things, and that's why I wouldn't butt heads with people for many of these. There's just some that I'm like, you're crazy. Like, Finding Dory, I can't really see it. There's other stuff I think would be better for you to connect with. Monsters University, like, a lot of these are very emotional and touching movies. Monsters or University didn't really have it. Ink does, but not University. But that's all I have right now, so we're gonna get back to OBS, logging out. It's crazy, man. Thinking about since 1995, that's nuts. 1995. So we've got a good long time of Pixar movies. Even though it seems like there should be more, it's a good long time. It's crazy. I didn't get out of high school till 2002. It makes me very old. Finding Nemo came out right after that, and that's crazy, the timeline. Yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy. But those are my picks. You guys, if anyone does watch this, give your own feedback. Tell me what you guys think. It's funny, I'm looking at IMDb scores. 8.3 is for Toy Story. I wonder if anything's better than 8.3. 8.1 Ratatouille. 8.02 for Finding Nemo. That's understandable. 8.4 for Wall-E. Wow, that's over Toy Story. I get this. I get why people were saying that. 8.3 for Up. Like I said, there's going to be a genre of people that really just the beginning of Up. Like I said in the beginning, 8.3 for Toy Story 3. That makes sense. It's a little better than Toy Story 1 on this list or on this ranking of people voting. But again, you have to look at 969,000 people voted for Toy Story 3, and 1.2 million voted for Up. So 1.3 voted for Wall-E. So that might be why the stars. It's just people paid more attention to them. Cars 2, 6.2 figures. Brave 7.1. I think that should be higher than Monster University. 7.2 is Monster University. Inside Out's 8.1. The Good Dinosaur 6.7. I could kind of get that. Finding Dory 7.2. That should be lower. Coco's 8.4. Hey now, you're an all-star. What was the highest? 8.3 was Toy Story. I'm gonna be really proud. Really proud. Wall-E and Coco are the highest ones so far. I am so proud of Coco. Wow. That is really freaking cool. I'm actually really, really impressed right now. That is really freaking cool. Let's just see if anyone beats 8.4. Lightyear 6.1. No, no, nothing beats. That's awesome. That is so cool. That is so cool. That Coco, and it only has 706,000 people voting. To be fair, Cars 3 only has 151. I guess you could chop it up both ways. Like, oh, not that many people voted, so it's going to be lower. Not that people voted, but they're all high. So, I mean, yeah, that's awesome. The meta scores 96 for Toy Story 1. Understandable. 90 for both Finding Nemo and The Incredibles. 96 for Ratatouille. Huh. That's tied with the Bugs. I'm sorry, with Toy Story. Interesting. Anything higher than 96? Anything higher than 96? 57 for Cars 2. Don't blame you. 94 for Inside Out. 77 Finding Dory. 81 for Coco. And what was the highest? 96. Okay, so I could get that. I can get behind that. I understand. 8.4 for Toy Story 4. Bleh. 8.3 Turning Red. That's pretty high for being Turning Red. 60 for Lightyear. I get that. Yeah, Hoppers is 73, which is not too bad to see. But I'm really proud of Coco right now. Really proud. They had a decent meta score. They're in their 80s. With Up is 88. What is that trying to tell me? But Ratatouille, crazy. Ratatouille's 96, and so is Toy Story 1. Stop talking to me. That's really interesting. Ratatouille holding its own with the meta score. That's cool. It's cool to see that. That's awesome. But yeah, so that was it. I don't want to keep going down this wormhole and looking at all the other comparisons. We already looked at the top ones on the Rotten Tomatoes, the Metascore, the IMDb stars. Very interesting. I could at least say I'm proud to say that Coco is my favorite movie, and yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad. That's really cool. Bugs Life falls under 78, which isn't bad. 7.2's still in the C. Toy Story 2, 7.9. I guess that fits a little bit. I don't like the 88 meta score though. But yeah, that's awesome. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna go back to OBS, shut it down, and then I'll be having this up, and hopefully one day people will go on these videos and talk to me. No one ever clicks my stuff, and that's fine. I get to voice my stuff out, and that's great. But I would like to have discussions with people and have things to come back up and talk about and return to things based off people's opinions and what they think, and things like that. But it is what it is. But thank you guys if you did watch. We're back in OBS, which means I gotta shut it off. Thank you again, and that was Pixar's ranking.